Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nerdverse Odyssey, episode 13. I'm your host, the Pauly D wannabe, Nico. Followed in the top right corner, we have Cody Rhodes on a meth bender in Chick-fil-A. Hunter, how you doing, Hunter?
I'm all right. That's one of the weirder introductions that you've done. I feel like you had to connect it.
There was some dots that needed to connect because you're fat now, and that's kind of doesn't help. What I'm getting at is you're fat. You're fat.
Okay.
Fat.
He's saying that out of love.
Yes. No. Totally. Love. That's what it is. And to my immediate right, the one who should have been the leader of the LWO, the Puerto Rican monster from the East, Rico. What's going on, man?
How's everybody doing? Thank you for the intro. I love it.
And above me, I didn't think any of this through because I didn't know if he was going to show up because I didn't get a text message. We have,
in many ways,
Captain
in many
Bookman,
more ways than one,
the leader of the worst wrestling federation ever, probably. Glenn. Hello, Glenn.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? And being above you in more than one way, I do highbrow humor. You see, it's like this. I go like this. Aha, dicks, because my eyebrows are high.
Hey, Hunter, guess what? Your dad joke won't be the worst one on the show today.
I don't. That's not true. What do you call an old avatar?
What?
Boomerang.
God damn it. Oh, can we just end this now? Can we be done?
Oh, I just got it just now.
Actually, Hunter has to do one more because we didn't do the podcast last week.
That's true. Hunter, hit us with one more of your lovely
with a dose.
dad jokes.
Uh-oh, he's on the spot.
Oh yeah, no, he didn't think about this. He cues him up but he only cues one up. He doesn't think he's gonna get two rounds in one
Just
go.
think about mom's spaghetti.
No, I gotta think about this. Give me a minute. I got you.
All right.
Okay.
So, as Rico stated, we were out last week. Being as I'm apparently the only idiot who can record this, I had some problems. Baby got sick, then I got sick, and he was really sick that day, and I had to clean up a lot of vomit on myself and a rug. So, fun. But yeah, so we just took a week off. We're not dead yet. At least I'm not, I think. I don't know where this is going. Anyway, welcome to the show, peoples. Friends, family. Apparently the one person that Rico said actually watched our show. You want to just jump right in with it?
Don't know if we watched it live or later on, but Jason from Panay Collectibles. It's a local store in our area. He's really the main guy I go get my pops from.
Okay.
Whenever time, but he has records, and this is not a sponsor ad, but he has records.
I was about to say, do you got a check underneath your desk right now?
Hey Jason, let me know. Let me get at least $5. $5 at least. Like a $5 discount. But yeah, I just went in there to pop my head in with my wife to get something, and then we were just discussing pops. He showed me the latest imports from Japan he has from video games.
Mm-hmm.
I think mostly just video games because he was talking about the Google AR glasses coming out. I don't think they were VR.
Probably because it seems like everyone wants to go to augmented reality now, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's like people don't want to be blinded and have that eternal fear of like somebody being like right behind you, like. Whenever you wash your hair and you get soap in your eyes while you're in the shower and you're like, and then,
does it feel like somebody's watching me?
Right. And so I think that's why everybody's going AR is because, latently people trust being able to still see their surroundings because VR is kind of scary that way.
So I was talking to him and then he just mentioned that, he's like, yeah, I saw you guys' podcast. I really like it. And I was like I literally scared him. I was like, oh crap. Actually, I said, oh shit. I was like, oh shit, you watched the podcast? He's like, yeah, I really like it. He's like, it talks about you guys talk about stuff that I'm interested in. So he's near our age range on that part. But
Nice. We have at least 2 confirmed fans because I'm not counting Mom. The other is a buddy of mine, Steven. What's up, dude? One of these days I might just bring him in. He's also a big ass nerd like us, so could be fun. We'll go just embrace the chaos. Eventually, this will be a
shout out to
forum with like
Jason.
300 dudes, and we're like, yeah. So all of our viewers are now just on the show.
shout out to Jason. He did get me this. I don't care if y'all can't see it. Well, I do care. I don't care. A Namor. This one is actually bad. I wish it was a chase, but this almost completes my set. So
Nice.
kind of happy about that.
Nice. All right.
So yeah. Shout out to
All
Jason.
right, I got another one,
Oh,
and if
here
I
we
make you guys laugh, you got to go to Jason's shop and buy something.
You gotta go to what?
You got to go to Jason's shop and buy something if I make you laugh.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay.
Okay, what do you do when you can't get a Pokemon on a bus?
What?
Yeah,
You Pokemon.
you are a piece of
But I made 2 people laugh here. One of which is local, so you're welcome, Jason.
That's funny. But yeah, so I would say there was things that happened in the week prior to last week. But I will say there is a joint venture that at least 3 of us joined in. And that is, we watched WrestleMania. Hunter and I did night 1, and Rico did night 2 with us. And it was good. There's an echo
So,
somewhere.
Since you
Oh.
mentioned that,
I know where it is.
so WrestleMania is split up in 2 days now.
Yeah, so
I thought
I
that was
guess
just
for
a
the past
prequel.
couple of years they've been doing multiple days. So they do like day 1 on Saturday, day 2 on Sunday.
That's why it felt kind of short. Okay.
Right? Well, because I remember WrestleMania as being like 5 hours long, and it seems like they were only 3 hours a night.
Yeah, that's why
I
they
mean,
condensed them.
Yeah, that makes sense. But
You
yeah,
get like really big drop off towards like the middle to the end of it, or just people don't tune in at all. So it kind of makes sense. But also, I feel like they really like put on like subpar matches on the first night, especially compared to the second.
yeah. I'm still shocked that, like, okay, so I guess we'll just dive right into WrestleMania. Becky Lynch is a fantastic wrestler. I've seen her do some really, really good matches. Rhea Ripley is an amazing wrestler. I've seen her do some really good matches.
and built exceptionally well.
That chick is a brick shithouse. It's insane. But the thing that I can't wrap my head around is Rhea Ripley carried Becky Lynch through a mediocre match. Like, what in the fuck was going on during that thing?
Yeah, it was really bad. Becky
She looked
missed a whole bunch of
so green.
spots.
Like, she looked
Every
so
time-
green.
Every time she tried to climb the ropes for a springboard or anything, you watched Rhea just on the ground like shuffling herself into position because she's nowhere near her spots. Like whole match was just weird from start to finish.
Yeah, it was just it was awkward. It was an awkward match. Like, they did not gel well together.
No, not at all.
All right, so
Was at least the soap opera portion of it, like, half decent? Like,
it seems like
you
it-
with my
they-
man's baby daddy.
Well, it seems like they toned it down, so it's not as like there's not as much. It's not as intense, but it seems to be a lot. It's produced a lot better now. Like, I'm not gonna lie. The thing that got me into wrestling was I knew a little bit of Cody Rhodes when he was doing his Stardust gimmick, as well as I saw him when he started up AEW. I thought, he's a pretty cool guy, and I've always loved Dusty Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes, aka Gold Dust, which is funny because I didn't originally like Gold Dust as a wrestler until I can't remember when, but there was like one point where it's like, oh no, this guy's just insane and funny and like just all this stuff. And I remember we had all the action figures from the Attitude Era, and like, yeah, it was fun times. But no, needless to say, I'm a huge Rhodes fan. So when I saw that there was like beef between The Rock, Seth Rollins, and Cody Rhodes. Like, okay, this is kind of interesting. Then Rock slapped the teeth out of Cody Rhodes, and I was like, okay, now I need to know what's going on because this is getting interesting. Which led right into WrestleMania 40, which was, as Hunter said, first night kind of ass. Second night was a fucking banger.
Well, I mean, all right, take a look at this from the storytelling perspective, right? Maybe the first night was just a bunch of exposition in order to set up the climax at the the second day, for story resolution.
It definitely was.
So maybe,
especially because there was a lot of like feud matches. Like, what was it? The second match on the card was Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Dominic Mysterio and some other dude, but that was just a feud match. Then,
well, yeah, it was Andrade was on Rey Mysterio's team, and Santos Escobar was on his kids' tag team.
And it was a cool match, but it was just kind of like, it seemed more like it was just a story match. What was the fight after that? Was that the women's rumble? Because wasn't there a women's Royal Rumble?
No, after that was the Uso brothers.
They should totally call it the Queen's Gambit.
brothers, and that was another story match. And then there was one
Which
more.
was good though. It was
a good one.
It was really fun.
There were too many like kicks to the jaw. I think they could have toned that down a bit, because it's kind of hard to listen. It's kind of hard to sell multiple like hits to the jaw from some dude who weighs 230 pounds as he kicks you in the face. Like, that's gonna knock you out.
Well,
But
depends on how he can throw a kick though.
All right, fair. I don't
Women's
know.
wrestling obviously needs more tip punching.
I mean, the smallest guy can knock you out, but again, the biggest guy, if they don't know the technique, they can, they may rock you a little bit, but it doesn't phase you.
That's fair. I don't know. I was never a huge fan of the Usos, so that might be why it was just kind of a bland match to me. What was the
We
one?
also saw Taker throw McFoley through a cage and onto the canvas, and then he got up and continued going at it.
That is
so,
true.
Like,
That's
let's
because
not pretend like this
McFoley's
was
just
the
a
most outlandish
badass
thing.
All right, fair enough. But yeah, so that one was story match. Well, is there anything after that? There was one more before the tag team?
It was the 3-1 tag team, right? With Jade, Bianca, and Naomi versus Yoda, Asuka, and Kairi.
Which that was actually a pretty good match. Except for Naomi's not a good wrestler. There's a reason why she was only in the ring for like 30 seconds, if that. However, that one woman on the other tag team, the Storm, the one who did like the white line down like half her body, she was pretty good. I think what it was, somebody said China with abs.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that made a whole lot of sense for her character. She's just supposed to be a giant,
big,
and she could actually wrestle too, which was cool.
Yeah, and then there was the tag team match which would decide the rules for.
No, you're forgetting Sammy and Gunther, because that was honestly the best match of the night.
Yes, actually, yeah. It's funny now. Lehan keeps running around and asking me, "So have you ever seen Sami Zayn do other wrestling matches and stuff like that?" So like, he seemed to be, apparently Sami Zayn is got my kid over, because he was like, yeah, no, he's pretty cool. But yeah,
mine was asking to watch wrestling tonight with dinner. So like, well, all right, I guess we can.
Hey man, it's the Paul Levesque era. Who knows where it's gonna go? But yeah, that was a pretty good match. Gunther was very how do I say this in a way that won't get us super canceled? Goose steppy.
I'm gonna have you explain that one a little bit more.
All right, he came off like a wrestling portrayal of a Nazi in the 80s. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he had like very big SS vibes to him. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just because he has that look. I know he's British, but he does kind of look like an SS officer.
Because he's a wide and has a block face?
Yes. That's pretty much it.
Because he's mildly Slavic?
Any Eastern European individual is just a Nazi in your mind?
Oh, nice. I love to see the way you're spinning this. No, he just has that. He has.
What are your
that
thoughts on Logan
look.
Paul?
That was night 2. But no, I don't know. He just had that. He had like that look to me. Like if you're playing Wolfenstein, that face is what I'd imagine one of the main bad guys would look like.
Yeah, that's because it was in like 64-bit. Everything looked like a block.
Yeah. Okay. Either way,
There were some triangles. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a pretty good match. And then there was the. Then was it the final one?
Yeah. Then it was the last match of the night.
Okay. Which was a tag team match between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns and The Rock.
You got there in the end.
I did. I for some reason keep mixing up Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns' names. So I'm trying to make a concerted effort. There we go.
No, you had it wrong the first time.
Yeah, but I
and the stipulation for this match was basically if The Rock and Roman won, then it was going to be an Extreme Rules match. But if Cody and Seth Rollins won, then it was going to be just a standard singles men's match, which you knew going into it that there was no way that they were going to win because the Extreme Rules is way more fun.
As Glenn said, story. It was the story matches. And then night 2 happened.
Before you go into that,
Okay.
That was also The Rock's only match that he's had in the WWE in like the last 12 years. He had one 8 years ago, but it was a crush match to give him the fastest win of all time in WrestleMania, and he won the match in 6 seconds.
Oh, wow. All right. Fair.
So realistically, it's the first time he's done an actual match in over 10 years.
That's
and he looked good.
He did. And his lead up to WrestleMania, he came off as the biggest heelish cunt I have ever seen. Like worse than back in the Attitude Era.
It's true. He embraced it well.
So good to the point where they were starting to censor him on night 2. Because in the first night, him and Roman Reigns were just talking shit the whole time. And there's like one point where Cody was going for the clean pin, and was it a pin or submission?
I can't remember which.
There was something where a count out was supposed to happen, and you see The Rock go up to the side of the ring, point at the ref, and be like, "Listen, I'm The Rock. You know me. If you start counting, I will fucking fire you." Right on the hard camera. And
This good.
I was in Jumanji, motherfucker. Don't you understand?
Right? But it was funny because on night 2, when he shows up to the ring, spoilers, everybody know that was going to happen. He's coming down like pointing out and just screaming something, fuck something, bleeped out that entire part. And I was like, ah.
So since I'm coming back into wrestling, what is The Rock's role? Because I was kind of confusing.
So Rock is a member of the board. So I think he's part of he might have some work with the creative team, but he is on like the board of directors. That's why he came in and took on the whole like final boss gimmick,
which was the dumbest thing.
So that makes
it was
sense.
pretty dumb, but in all fairness, it kind of worked.
No, it didn't.
I don't know. I thought it was fun.
I don't know because I saw the belt he had. What was it, your mama's belt? Or
yeah, that was because he was being a cunt. So like it was like a week earlier, he beat the shit out of Cody and like busted him open and started like smearing his blood all over that. Because then he was gonna beat the shit out of Cody with it and then give it to his mom.
Okay.
So what a nice boy.
Oh yeah, and his mom didn't get censored when she called him like a piece of shit or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So that makes sense because I know The Rock. I know he got his name back and some other stuff, and then also he got something with THQ.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I remember you saying
those were the guys behind
this.
the video game. Yeah, so that makes sense. I mean, I also said that it was weird. Vince McMahon pretty much got ousted with the latest.
Oh, so Vince is like
sexual...
totally out. So
yeah, it's like it's weird. Like Vince is coming out, Rock is coming in.
Yeah, well, apparently, like he had some of the creative done on this one, but like by the end, they pretty much went by Roman Reigns dropping the belt to Cody. That finishes off all the storylines that Vince had. So now everything going forward is all from Triple H.
Got you.
And apparently he had nothing to do with Sunday Night either, aside from Roman. I don't even think he had Roman losing in it. So, don't don't quote me on this because I've only just like read some of this. Apparently, it has been Triple H that has been the head of creative for a while now, but with Vince giving heavy input, and now it's just all Triple H.
And I think some input from The Rock. There's a bunch of videos I haven't seen yet, but go ahead. I don't want to get into it right now.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But yeah, no, it was like the first night was okay, but it was mostly just story. Night 2 was where it got really, really good. The opening match was... I know Hunter's got the card. Who was the opening match?
Yeah, I've had it up this entire time, and I've just been letting you fumble through it because why not?
Fair.
You've been doing a great job so
Thank
far.
you. I thank you. So what was
See
the
what happens
Rock's
when you
card?
call him names? He just lets you flop right there, like, yeah.
No, that's fine. I'll take
Absolutely.
it.
That's what brothers do. We watch you stumble and then kick you while you're on your way down. So the first match was the World Heavyweight Championship between Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins.
Really
Okay,
good
yeah.
match. I think Rollins played off that he was fucked up really, really well. Great ending and a swerve I did not expect.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, with Damian Priest at the end.
Yes, I thought so.
Yeah.
So McIntyre won the match clean, and then he got knocked out by. I think Seth Rollins came in and knocked the shit out of him, and then that
No.
dude came in. Nope.
No, he won the match.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins left. Instead of leaving, he decided to mince some words with CM Punk. He got on the table.
Yeah, that's it.
CM Punk, I don't know if McGuire hit him. I can remember that back, but CM Punk started attacking him, took his little brace, whatever he had, hit him.
Yep.
And right when CM Punk blew a kiss, I don't know to who, that's when Damian Priest came out of nowhere and cashed in his Money in the Bank.
Yep. All right. Yes. Yes.
Which was a great twist for me because I had no idea that he held the Money in the Bank.
I only just recently figured out what the hell Money in the Bank is.
For real?
How?
I haven't watched like modern wrestling in years. When Cena started
damn.
becoming the top face of the show, that's when I like fully dropped off. But I only caught like bits and pieces. Before
Yeah,
that.
but you had to see Money in the Bank because that was before Cena. That's before.
Been there forever.
Yeah,
I
Money in the
haven't
Bank had been there
following
even
it. Like
before
I
I
never
started
watched the
watching
pay-per-views.
Could this be possibly connected to your dislike of men with square jaws?
Possibly,
Possibly.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
But yeah, so all in all, it was a pretty solid match. What was the next on the card?
A Slavic gentleman
it was
or
okay.
Eastern European gentleman.
Was it the women's match on the second one?
No, the next one was the Philadelphia Street Fight.
Oh yes,
between,
with
What was the
special
point of
guest
that?
referee Bubba Ray Dudley.
yes.
Oh no, that's not the one I was talking about. There's the next one that was
But yeah, I did find I'm not a huge fan of Bobby Lashley. I don't like his look.
I'm surprised he's back.
Yes, actually, that's another good point. But I was never a huge fan of him back in the day. However, him and the partners he had during this match were pretty good. I thought. Was this the one where they did with all the ladders? It kind of turned into a TLC match. Or am I mixing?
Are you
things?
thinking? No, you're thinking the double tag team match.
Was that
Yeah,
night
the
one?
triple-
That was
that
night
was a
one,
triple
wasn't
match.
it?
No, that's.
It was night one.
I guess that was
No,
that
no.
one.
Day two had a triple match. It was a
Yeah, but
tag
day
team
one
match.
had a ladder match in it.
Okay.
Because remember, I had to explain to Leon what a ladder match was. It was for the Raw tag team titles and the SmackDown tag team titles.
Oh yeah, nope, that was.
I'm
on day
assuming this
one.
is coming to
Right.
an emergency room near you after he figures out where your ladders are. Hey, Dad!
Yep, right. But yeah, no. So the first ladder match on night one was actually pretty good. It wasn't as crazy as the old school TLC matches, but it was definitely like a good match to watch. This one though, I thought was funny because they got a lot of nostalgia pops out of me, mostly for Devon showing them how to do the "was up," and the he didn't do a 3D, but he did do the head dive, right? Oh yeah, that's the "was up."
I didn't get to watch
no, it
this
was
match.
the get the smack him in the chest and get the table. That's what it was. Would have been really happy if somebody did a 3D over a table, but beggars can't be choosers.
That would have been cool.
It would've
I will say, we did skip the 6-team ladder match for the tag titles.
Yes, I
Uh,
thought that was going to be absolute chaos.
yeah, it ended up being a really fun match.
It was very controlled.
And K Quick got to win a title at WrestleMania, which was dope.
Yep. Very glad he finally got his WrestleMania payday.
Which I'm sure you remember R-Truth from when he used to be K Quick. Rico, do you know how old that man is?
Yeah, he still looks the same. The
Yeah.
fact that you said R-Truth, and I'm like, he's still here. Again, it's like Bobby Lashley. I'm like, he's still here? Like,
Yeah.
See, the thing is, though, Bobby Lashley's looking old. R-Truth does not. He looks like he
doesn't.
did back when he first started. It's
Yeah,
nuts.
he still looks like he's 30. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But he is,
Isn't he,
he is
like-
52.
Yep. I was going to say, he's like early 50s.
Yeah, he's been around since the Attitude Era.
And isn't Lashley
yeah,
like
because he was part.
in his 40s and he looks like he's almost 60?
I don't
Steroids
know.
are a hell of a drug.
I mean,
All I know
Brock's
is
looking
R-Truth.
the same way.
R-Truth used to be part of Road Dogg, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Mm, that's crazy.
'Cause he was.
That's pretty cool. Some of the old wrestlers are
Oh.
either back or they came back.
Exactly. And
Oh,
that'll
yeah,
definitely...
he was with Road Dogg.
He is with Road Dogg?
Well, I think he was first introduced with. I don't know if this is after Road. So Road Dogg used to be, part of D-Generation X with Billy Gunn,
Mhm.
which I think his name
And then
turned
they,
into
they never
Aslan.
left the gimmick. Even
then I
in
think
TNA,
something
they still were
happened.
doing the DX gimmick.
And then I think somehow Billy Gunn got either before Road Dogg got with the Generation X, or Billy Gunn left the WWE. I think R-Truth was with him, and then somehow they as far as the wrestling, they fell off and they were fighting against each other. Anybody can correct me, but that's I think how it went down in my memory. I'm gonna stick with it right there.
Fair.
Also, I sent you guys the Get Rowdy because it's a great song.
Nice.
And we start talking about K Quick, and it immediately went in my head.
But yeah, so then let's just jump back to night 2. So all in all, pretty solid triple tag match.
Yeah, and then the next one up was LA Knight and AJ Styles.
Which was really, really good. I thought it was.
I didn't know
really,
AJ Styles
really
was
good
that
match.
big.
What was
I
that?
thought AJ Styles was. I think I saw him wrestle before I fell off wrestling, and then I saw him in the ring, and I'm like, that dude is huge.
Oh yeah,
Like,
he's
he
big.
was.
He was a pretty big boy back in TNA though too. He was just very baby faced, like, and I don't mean that in wrestling terms. I mean
Right.
that as he looked like a giant man baby with muscles. The long hair and the beard definitely make his look a lot better.
Yeah, he looks a little bit more savage, savage, like
Yes.
street in a way, like
and he's been
biker
doing
kind
that
of.
since Japan when he was with the Bullet Club. But yeah, no, like I always thought that was a better look on him. But
That
yeah,
was a good match. I didn't expect for him to lose though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
He and Cody were part of the Bullet Club, weren't they?
Yep. Because they came back with Johnny Omega and created AEW.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, dude, the Bullet Club was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You know who dodged the Bullet Club? O.J. Simpson.
'cause he's
Apparently
dead.
died of cancer today. according
Oh
to the
yeah, if you
news.
guys didn't hear, OJ Simpson's dead.
Yeah.
I saw that, and the first thing I thought was, well, maybe that glove will fit now.
I'm just wondering if he got all his sports memorabilia back.
I hope he did.
I don't think they gave that to him in prison.
No, I think he got some of it back or something.
That's good. At least he got some of it back.
Well, yeah, I mean, whatever. Who was it that he robbed? It was shit. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head now. Like whenever he was like sneaking in, and all of a sudden you see O.J. Simpson in your sports memorabilia, like, what the fuck was that guy's name? Like he almost shot him.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
that
remember.
the whole thing. Well, I mean, I want to make sure we deviate back to the WrestleMania, but just for that one, so was mentioned is, well, what I remember of the story is the guy had took OJ memorabilia. I don't know if he purchased it or he acquired it, but he's essentially holding it hostage until OJ paid him some money for something, and that's when OJ decided to go up there with a couple of folks, and it got kind of rowdy. And not gonna lie, I do feel like, because this happened in Vegas, I believe. So when he did go to court, I feel like it was like a gotcha moment. Like, we couldn't get you for this, so we're
But
gonna
we can
get you
get
for
you for
this.
this.
And that's why that's why he got the. I think he almost got the maximum
Yeah.
punishment for it, and so that's why he went there. I mean, it's one of those things of, regardless on how you view the outcome of the proposed crime he did, and what the outcome was, it's like, dude,
If he did it, right?
Hey, court says not guilty, so that's a discussion for another day. If you guys want to debate
that's an entirely different podcast.
Yeah. Because then we got to purchase the book, then we got to look at the TV series.
Yeah, and we're just a bunch of, giant man babies who like to play video games and watch wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
That's the perfect demographic for a whodunit murder mystery podcast.
Fuck it, starting next week, Murder Mystery Whodunit podcast. Let's go.
I do declare I know who did it.
Oh, see here, meow meow. We're just a bunch of oil salesmen out of Dallas looking into these here murders.
I could, Nico, I could see you playing Ed Kemper on television.
Hey,
Personally, I think his acting skills make him a much better dead body.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
He was a tree for a play once when we were kids.
I was the best.
He was a
tree
really
in that
shitty
play.
tree.
Fuck you.
See here, I was gonna give you some credit because I said you could probably play a bad guy because I saw Michael Cera playing a bad guy.
And Michael Cera had the shitty mustache too. I'm just saying.
Yep, in that one, he was a French guy. That was his alter ego he would go into.
Yep.
It just so happened to pop on my TV. I'm like, Michael Cera's playing a bad guy and a good guy. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good movie. I can't remember what it was called, but it was pretty funny. I enjoyed it.
All I know is that he drove his car off a cliff. That I guess it was the high school, and then when it fell into the water, it was only like maybe 3 inches deep. I just laughed, and then he's just looking there, naked with his underwear. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And my wife is laughing because she's like, what the heck is this? I don't know. This movie just popped up on Samsung TV. And I'm like, you got to be the worst guy. The cops are just looking like what the hell, man? Like,
yeah, and then doesn't he do his like stupid run right afterwards?
Yeah, and he's like,
classic.
But going back to the wrestling,
the soap opera.
Yes.
Yeah.
The soap opera for manly men.
Yeah.
The next match up was the Triple Threat United States Championship match between Logan Paul, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens.
That was actually a killer match. Like every time Logan Paul comes up, I want to hate the guy. He is one hell of a worker. He is so good at what he does.
Yeah, it's really frustrating, isn't it?
How fucked up is his face after the Tyson match?
No, that's not him. That's his brother.
No, that hasn't happened yet. That's his brother.
Yeah, and that's not till July, I believe.
And I'm still pretty sure that Tyson's going to kill him.
Wait,
Yeah, I mean,
Logan Paul. Wait, I'm confused
Jake
now.
Paul
Jake Paul is the one fighting Tyson. Logan Paul is the wrestler.
He's
Okay,
the younger brother. Or, quote unquote, the more serious boxer.
I see.
Yeah, but there's going to be, because it's an exhibition match, there's going to be a whole bunch of stipulations of no knockdowns or knockouts are allowed.
No, I thought they were going to. I read that they're going to
headshots.
do knockouts.
Then it's not an exhibition match at that point, and it has to get regulated and like under the Nevada State Athletic Commission. And there's no way they're going to sign off on that fight.
Fair enough.
I'm just saying, Mike just had to have one little snap, and his neck is going to snap.
Yeah, I'd
Somebody's
still be
ears
more
getting
worried for
bit.
Tyson at that point. As tough as he used to be, he's still a 50-year-old man who has a back so bad he can barely walk most days.
Yeah, and he could still kill all of us in a single blow.
Did you
Yeah,
see
but don't ask me
the
to throw
edible
the second.
gummies that him and Evander Holyfield came out with?
No.
Yeah,
He made a series of edibles that were shaped like Evander Holyfield's ear, with a little bite taken out of it. And they were all like on a commercial together and be like, hey, take a bite out of this. Look at this. And
Fucking
like they're
carnies, I
weed
swear.
gummies. Yeah, they're making money off that shit.
Yeah.
They should.
As they should.
That's hilarious.
It's one of the biggest moments in pop culture.
Yeah.
What of the early '90s?
It's the
And he didn't
biggest,
go
but
in for
it's
a single
also the
bite. He went in
saddest, too.
twice.
That's right. He did bite twice. Yes.
He had to finish it off.
Here's a weed gummy you want to bite twice. Or hold on. Let me get the proper accent. Here's another a gummy that'll get you high, and if you'll want to bite twice, or something like that. I don't know, man. That's fucking crazy though.
I mean, it's close.
You were trying. You were there.
It was like the Water Boy and Forrest Gump
Right.
mixed together. I was waiting for you to go, Mama said. Mama
The
said.
coolest, cleanest high you'll ever know.
It was blessed by
Yeah,
a
you just went
man.
southern there at the end.
God.
Bobby Boucher.
Yeah.
This is off the rails. What were we talking about? All right, wrestling.
The
Wrestling.
triple match. The triple match.
Yep.
Randy Orton. How thick has that man's neck got over the years?
He
I
has got-
He's
swear
got
his
Corey
neck is
Taylor
bigger than his
syndrome,
head.
man. Like he's like just grr. The perfect term, the perfect use for the word girthy.
Dude, for real. Like, I don't understand how he gets shirts.
Unlike
around him.
how Corey Haim likes to describe girthy.
How's
No
that?
comment.
Anyway,
Charlie Sheen. No, never mind. Too soon.
Jesus Christ. So girthy neck Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, Logan Paul won, but like,
Yeah.
I was annoyed. It was fun. It was a good match. I enjoyed all of it.
Oh,
I
but it was
annoyed
it
when
was a
Logan won
good
again.
match. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
It was a sponsorship. It was a sponsorship match.
Definitely.
Easily.
Because then
Yeah.
you saw Speedy. Like when that popped up, and I was like, okay, this is the wrestling I remember. And I was like, okay, we got like a
This
little
is that
gimmick or
bullshit
something.
I'm looking for.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, like, okay, here we go. On that part.
But then we had the best women's match of the weekend
Yes.
after that. Him, Bailey, and Io Sky.
Dude, Io Sky is a fucking trooper. I didn't realize she was as good as she was.
Yeah, she's got super popular over like the last year or so.
Yeah, and that is one of the tiniest, angriest Japanese women I've ever heard in a while.
But she's fast.
Oh, she fast and she angry.
She's fast. Fast and agile.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I think I know why I like her. She has RBF.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's my thing.
That's half the reason why I fell in love with my wife.
Remind
Yeah, I
me.
always tell my wife that she's at her best when she's annoyed at me.
That and her cooking.
And
people
I know
out
two
there-
people are getting rat poison in their pizza tonight.
Ooh. So for the people that are listening, not
Yeah.
for me, what is RBF?
Oh, resting bitch face.
Ooh.
Think about it.
Have you never heard of RBF before?
I know.
Because me and my wife doesn't have that type of relationship. So
But you just
She's-
can't
so
look at
it's-
her and
it's
just be
not
like,
resting,
oh.
you guys are unhappy. No, I'm joking.
So it's ABF? Active bitch face?
No comment.
Come on, man. Let's be
Okay.
nice. His wife probably like fields these just to make sure he's not doing anything bad.
I mean, that's fair. But also she pays for him to go to Comic-Cons, so like she can't be that bad.
Well,
Fair.
hey, is out of that or stripping? I mean, like I said,
I got $2
be out there
buddy.
in the
Let's
strip
go.
clubs. Not that I do that anymore, but I mean, hey, I figured, hey, spend your money where I got it here. It's like the argument of like,
Oh, hold on. It just to bring it into
what was
the
your
modern
stage
day.
name?
and
Oh,
were
not for
you
me.
into inversion on the poll?
whoa. My wordings was wrong. I said it's either. I always joke around when people go, "Hey, you collect a lot of pops." I was like, "Hey, is that of this or go to strip clubs? Like, where you want me to, spend my money at?"
No, I assumed you were going to the strip clubs to fund the pops and the Comic-Cons.
Yeah, that's what
Man, if I was stripping, you know how much money I would get?
the room would
I'm
have
Latin,
more pops in it.
I'm
Come
Latin,
on.
and I'm heavily husky with a beard. Oh.
They call me Papa Bear.
Yeah, papito. They call me papito. I'm like, yeah. I'm Coco Suave. Coco Suave. That's what we
Oh,
call me.
dude, this
There you
podcast
go.
is
Do
going
all the
somewhere.
nanas
Gordita Suave or Gordito
on the stage
Suave.
for you?
Mhm, yeah, Gordita. Oh man, I wish they'd bring back Gordita, but they don't. Taco Bell bastards. But anyways, back to the match.
I won't talk about your stripping career anymore. And then we had the last match of the night, and Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. And that was a ton of fun. And they clearly spent a long time building that up. And it was a fantastic payoff.
And I will also say this, it also made payoffs to older feuds too, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah,
we had run-ins from both Uso brothers,
Mm-hmm.
The Rock,
Sanoa guy.
Cena.
Yeah, John Cena was there. I fucking marked out when I saw Cena.
Was it Samoa? It wasn't Samoa Joe.
Wait, you saw Cena?
Dude, Cena was in the main event at WrestleMania.
I know, but you saw him.
Yeah.
I saw his ball spot.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he is gonna have Hogan hair within the next 15 years, guaranteed. There's gonna be a cul-de-sac up there.
So nothing against John Cena. I like his work, but not gonna lie, when you're talking about age of wrestlers and stuff, like seeing him in there, it's like
he's looking old.
Again, I didn't see him in Peacemaker, but when I see him in the ring, I'm like, man, he looks like he's like the age is getting with him.
Well, that
like the first thing I saw was the ball spot. Again, his
hair.
body got smaller too. It doesn't look like it's
exactly like what he just did Peacemaker, and he looks like half the size.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe he took it. Go ahead, Hunter.
Now, if you're not actively like in the ring 3 to 4 days a week or working on a show, like there's no point in being on a cycle and continuing to like that he's doing HGH. So you're going to grow your heart and all the other organs. Plus you have like your kidneys and your livers and everything else that they're ruining with all the PED usage. So like it's super common for Hollywood actors, athletes, even WWE stars, like especially Cena, where there's no need to go off cycle, let your body recover for 6 months, a year, whatever it is, and then go back on so you can be show ready.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which
you seem to know an awful lot about that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, a little bit.
Can't you tell he's trying to start doing them?
Obviously, this is a trend monster right here. But yeah, really what it is, what makes a big difference with Cena is that he's growing out his hair. If he went back to the buzz look, he would look a lot fine. Younger. Yeah. He doesn't look like your grandpa standing in there.
Grandpa in jorts.
He needs some sun too. He was, I don't know, he looked kind of pale too.
He was looking Sheamus pale.
I don't know. I remember Sheamus.
Sheamus was bright white, and Cena was looking bright white.
He just didn't get his WrestleMania.
No, he was looking like off white, like dirty white. Like if you got like a white car and it's like it hasn't been washed, and you know maybe like a
I get it. I can see that. He was looking.
Sheamus is more of like a bright, like freakishly bright white with orange hair. If that's his real hair, like his real hair color, that's crazy. Like the Irish genes. Yeah, he was Irish.
Yeah, he's Irish.
Like the Irish genes is very well in you, buddy. There's no denying that. My take on the match is, for me coming back to WrestleMania, that match wasn't climactic in my eyes.
Okay.
Like it, I mean, again, given the past ones, maybe because there's been a difference. Like, there's always been a tug and go from back and forth. Like somebody gets the upper hand to a certain point, then the other person gets the upper hand. I necessarily didn't feel that with Roman Reigns, and even the celebration at the end. Even though they gave the whole Undertaker came out, everybody, which again got me. I was like, oh crap, the Undertaker,
right?
Could have been Austin.
Oh, that's what everybody was asking. Like, where's Austin?
He's here for John Cena. No.
Well, because I mean, when they came out, it gave him a old, but I don't know, just between the match and then the ending part, that wasn't climactic. Like the way they shaped, at least from my viewpoint, again coming back in, they shaped Cody Rhodes like this was the reward from the road. Like we saw Cody Rhodes from the very beginning. At least I saw him in. I didn't see him in AEW, but when he started out his career with WWE, going through that, trying to get away from his dad's shadow as far as Dusty Rhodes. He even talked about on the podcast how his dad didn't even teach him. He would teach everybody else, but hands off on him. So if you're gonna make it to the point where it's gonna be the handoff, didn't feel like he especially with all the interference at the end, it just didn't feel that climactic to me. Like again, when
So
Shawn Michaels won the belt and stuff like that.
yeah, I think the reason
the
why
intensity wasn't there.
So I think the reason why is kind of the problem with modern WWE. It's everybody gets their finisher off, and the other person will always count out the first time. Like they'll always get out of it the first time. The problem with this one is Cody Rhodes did the 2-spot twice and the 3-spot twice. He pulled his finisher off way too many times.
Yeah. Even in the video game, you can't do that. So I mean, you're not gonna be coming out of that like that's my whole thing.
I think it would have worked better had they did the first 2, then Roman took over, the next 2, then interference, and then he tried to go for the next one, failed, and then you get that payoff when he finally gets that third drop. So I think that having 2 3-time drops kind of what ruined it, or made it less impactful, I should say, because it definitely wasn't a ruined match.
I would have took it if he would have went for the finishers on both sides, if they would have broke out of it, call it a combo breaker or whatever. Then that would have given more of a flair. Or if somebody was because I think Randy Orton did it in his match where he did the RKO out of nowhere.
Yep,
that was classic to me. That was classic Randy Orton. So if it was a thing where Roman Reigns
didn't
was
Kevin Owens like fucking push him off when he tried to do that too? He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So it's one of those things where, like, again with Roman Reigns, if it was for him to take to build up the heat, Cody Rhodes does something. Even if he did his own secondary finisher, I don't know how many finishers everybody has or whatever's power move they have. Let that be the combo breaker to give that whole intensity. Because even the old matches.
Well, that's how it was in the old matches. The person who pulled off their finisher first was the one who won the match. Like that was how it used to be in the golden era.
Well, not even that. I'm talking more or less of, let's say you were trying to do your finisher, and you do something, and out of nowhere, I do a exhausted, quote unquote, exhausted power move or side move to counter your momentum you're doing. And now we're both like, kind of like this. I'm not saying you got to do that the whole match, but that's where I feel that it wasn't there. Like again, to your point, finisher, which kind of contradicts what I saw in another podcast for wrestling. Again, the algorithm was blasting me.
Oh yeah.
With all this past stuff that I was like, oh man, it's like memory. That's where I ended. It was a great match. I just think with Cody Rhodes taking it, it wasn't climatic, and I kind of was shocked his brother wasn't there, but I don't know. That's more or less of a WWE.
I think it's because he's signed to AEW. I think that's why.
I think it also might be due to the fact that, like you said earlier, Triple H has taken over a lot of the Vince McMahon's leadership in the organization, and thus you might have a different, I guess, approach to it because he's trying to break free from McMahon's formulas.
I mean, I would say so for sure. The like
I'm saying this might be
Cody
just like a symptom
title.
of it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, Cody getting the title, Sami Zayn winning the title again. Like I feel like it was pretty clear as you were watching this, and like CM Punk coming back, and now they're likely Sammy Fuji and Seth Rollins and Cody. Like you can definitely see that all of the individuals that Vince really never felt had the opportunity
are actually
to
getting
really
their
pull themselves
opportunity.
up and get over with the fans. That you can see them actually like moving their way up and becoming like mainstay story for the organization and like big storylines, which is really cool because there was a very much
CM
an
Punk
archetype
said back in
was it
2017 or 2011 when he was re-signing his contract, like right before he was about to leave. I think he was going to leave after a fight with John Cena, but so they're doing like a public contract signing negotiations. And so he pissed Vince off, and it looks like he actually pissed Vince off. And Vince was like, I don't give a damn about what they think. He's like, of course you don't. That's the problem. And it's true. Like, that was the thing. Vince's whole thing was, you don't like what you like. You like what I tell you to like. And that's why we had Roman Reigns, the world champion for how many fucking years? Or John Cena, or it was only ever big dudes. It wasn't anybody that the fans were really over with.
So it's if I could just interject on this part, it's funny you said that because the algorithm started, you know, posting stuff from the Undertaker, and that's one thing that he was. His first name is Mark, but I'm still gonna call
Yeah,
him
Mark
Undertaker.
Calloway. Dude's really fucking
Um,
cool, by the way.
so the one thing that he mentioned was when he got his tattoos, like he didn't tell
Oh
Vince
yeah,
McMahon he was gonna get his tattoos, which
this
what's that
was
dude's
in
name?
was this in 89 or yeah, it was like 89 or
No, this was in
90.
the This was in the '90s where he said he was so everybody I guess had a cruising buddy because it seems like everybody has a story about hey me and him we used to
Mm-hmm.
be I guess in the van or whatever.
Well, yeah, if I remember
Oh,
correctly, it was back in the day. It was Sergeant Slaughter and the Iron Sheik, and they got actually arrested for smoking pot and drinking and driving.
mm.
They got in a lot of trouble for that.
But that's one thing that the Undertaker was saying that when he got his tattoos he didn't tell Vince, and when Vince found out, ironically his sleeve was started by I think the guy who played Papa Shango.
Yep.
Later he became the pimp.
Wait,
So
wait,
he was
wait.
saying that yeah
Papa
when
Shango
Vince
was the
found
Godfather.
the Godfather, yes.
Oh shit! I
If I'm
didn't
not
know that was
mistaken,
Papa Shango.
if I'm mistaken, somebody correct me, but it was either on his podcast or one where somebody was interviewing him.
Mm.
But the whole point was, yeah, Vince had a idea ever since he took over the reins of the WWE. He had an idea for everything. So anything you did, he made sure that hey,
He
you don't mess with
micromanaged
the
the
gimmick.
shit out of it.
Yeah, you don't mess with the gimmick, and that was the one thing that you know for the Undertaker, like he said, like he was just trying to find his brand or rebrand
Mm-hmm.
because after a while, it's like where do we go from here? I mean,
Yep.
you still got me stuck kind of like 1990s, which again goes back again. I think goes it. I mentioned this because one thing that I saw on a podcast was Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Lesnar to me was just another gimmick. He was another Goldberg. And
Yep.
who's the other guy? I think his name was Reinhardt.
Ryback.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right
so
back.
it's right back. So it's just a
Feed
big dude that
me.
Budget
has
Goldberg.
a wrestling background, similar to Kurt Angle. But again, Kurt Angle was the whole
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Lashley, and there's another black wrestler that was also a all time wrestler in college or whatever. I forgot his name. Um, but yeah, when Brock Lesnar took over the Undertaker, and it was brought up by a comedian that was on their podcast, and the one thing that he said was, if I could write your story, I would have had it to where you would have fought what's that dude name? Wade Bryant. Bryant. I'm probably messing up his
Wayne.
name.
Yeah, yeah.
You would
Wait,
have fought
yeah.
him again, and it would have been like a kind of like a old school, new school, where you would have lost your streak and you would have basically go off in the sunset, or at least do it to where maybe you didn't lose, but there was some type of disqualification, whatever.
Yeah,
Like almost
I see
like
what you
the
mean. I never understood why they went with Brock Lesnar and not somebody who had a gimmick similar to his.
because
Like Brain Wyatt would have been
Vince
great.
again. I mean, to what you guys are saying, Vince has his reins on the gimmicks and what he was, and Brock Lesnar was the new face,
Mm-hmm.
the momentum. Because now, where's Brock Lesnar now? Even before then, he had his health issues. Then he went to UFC, then came back. So for me to come back in to wrestling, that when I heard that the comedian said, I was like, dude, that would have been. I was like, man, that would have been just perfect. It was like
Mm-hmm.
a new age. Because the guy was saying that there's nobody in the WWE. Again, I'm coming back in, but nobody has that dark tone. Like to me,
Yep.
like nobody has that. And maybe it's a stretch, like a Joker mentality. Like I don't care. Like the Mick Foley when he was the Mankind,
Mm-hmm.
or even like the Goldust, where it's
The
that.
paradigm you're looking for, the word you're looking for is paradigm.
Yeah,
I don't have
like
that spooky paradigm.
They had
Yeah, 'cause
Finn
you're-
Balor until he decided to stop wearing all the makeup.
right.
Yeah, they went with the Rock, or not the Rock. They went with Brock. Speculating, but it would make a whole lot of sense. They went with that because really they had to do whatever Brock wanted around those times because he was making so much money doing MMA and he was so popular outside of the WWE
Mhm.
that if they wanted to keep him in house
They gotta
and money
appease
just
him.
wasn't enough, they had to just do whatever his ego wanted. And that was very much an ego thing of wanting to take the streak away from the Taker and be the one to do it.
I guess I could see again. I can't just see with Brock. Brock just never came across to me like. I
get it.
mean, take it whoever as it will. I don't give a damn when it comes to wrestling. I've been watching him for the longest. I just when he came on board, and I'm not saying he's the one who where I fell off other interests, but yeah, I didn't feel it. Like I didn't, for him to go against Undertaker, I felt like that's a match that you could build up a whole lot better. Even if Undertaker was going to be the heel, and you had somebody good, like in a way, like Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan in a way, where you got one guy leaving, and then there's new sensations coming in and doing that. But money talks at the end of the day. Well, at least with Vince McMahon, we'll see how it goes now.
Yeah, you were pretty accurate earlier. He is very much the modern day version of Goldberg. Because he has all the same like a body archetype and everything else in mentality, and he's labeled as the beast because he just runs through people like a freight train. The only difference is he can actually wrestle, so it makes it a little bit more tolerable. But yeah, he's just
unlike
a-
like
an improved
Rikishi.
Hey, don't
How
talk
dare
shit
you.
about Rikishi.
I saw him at GalaxyCon.
I
Oh,
bet,
did you?
Yeah, you
I
did.
thought he was dead.
Was
I don't know if I
was
mentioned
he
in the
wearing his
podcast
tassels?
before.
Was he wearing his tassels?
No, I did a double. Unfortunately, GalaxyCon, your Wi-Fi and everything sucks in that building in the convention center. But when I seen him, I had to do like a triple take. I was like, Rikishi?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was dead. I'm trying to look on my phone, and I'm like,
Do you
man, I
remember
got
when
no
he
good
was
signal.
wrestling as Fatu?
Tried to sneak a look from
Yeah.
behind. Yeah, that ass looks familiar.
Well, because they had for some reason. Oh, Glenn, you weren't part of this. You weren't part of the podcast when I talked about it. They had the wrestlers like if you had I don't know the size of a football stadium, right? At least the field. On your left, they had like the left corner. You had all the wrestlers that I didn't know were going to be there. So again, Trish Stratus.
Mm-hmm.
I think you said Becky. I think Becky Lynch was there. Lolita was it Lolita? The one who was with
Lita?
the Lita. The ones with the
Yep.
the Hardy Boys. Is the Hardy Boys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Well,
also
yeah, Lex
with
Luger. So you
LWO.
had all these wrestlers there. I want to say Or Anderson was there before he passed away. But then Rikishi and this guy that looks like I don't know, Iron Sheik. I don't know if he was another Arabian wrestler that they had.
Was he really skinny?
Yeah, he was smaller than the Iron Sheik, but he had like the same. Looked like he had the same gimmick.
I wonder if it was
not the turban,
Sabu.
but whatever they call this.
Did he look kind of like scarred up?
No, I didn't get that close. I mean, I got close, but it was like a pass by. I wasn't really because again, I thought Rikishi was dead. I'm like, I'm trying to look without really looking. Like
I'm trying to think who
just
else did a
imposter.
Sheik-like thing, and the only other person I can think of would be Sabu.
Maybe it. I mean, if GalaxyCon still has their list up, then I can. Actually, I got a book. I could look at it later. But again, these guys were off in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, it was like almost again looking at a football field. Left hand corner, right hand corner, and that's the only thing that shocked me was like, why are you guys like in a hidey hole over by the hentai stuff, like signing
dude,
stuff?
If had I known they were, because wasn't Ric Flair there?
Yes, Ric Flair was there. I didn't see him,
Yeah, but dude, had I known, I would have gone in a heartbeat.
but he had a booth. Dude, GalaxyCon
Would
has
have
so
paid
many people. Like
anything to get a picture with Nate, man.
Yeah.
And make you go,
again, Lex
woo!
Luger,
Yeah,
Matt
woo!
Hardy was there. So
Oh,
what's next? I think that was it.
think
That was my
it.
views on the WrestleMania. So
I think we can finally talk about the next topic you all have been trying to get to for the last 2 months. That's Loki season 2. Now
Yep.
I finally finished it.
it's happening.
Before we get to that, gonna have to kill
Okay.
kill Rico's buzz. Helldivers 2. New content came out today. Chef's kiss. It's all about big explosions. The Eradicators.
I mean, what else would it be other than democracy, right?
Exactly. On page 2, there is a rifle that is, I want to say it's a, I think it's called the Eradicator or something like that. It is a beast against bots. Like, you can take up anything up to a dropship or a tank or a Hulk. You just pass through it like butter.
Is it a rifle?
It's
Sniper?
a rifle. It's a single shot bolt action rifle. 5 rounds per mag. 12 mags is what you get. It's in the new battle pass or war bond. It's in the new war bond.
Okay, is that a microtransaction or is it
Yeah,
free?
it's the one you have to use the super credits for.
Okay.
It's 1,000 super credits. So if you play the game, you can get them, like you grind for them. But I think it's like $10. Yeah, I think it's $10.
For DLC, that's not too bad.
No, that's not too bad.
No, compared to like Destiny, at least if I compare to Destiny,
and
you're talking about some.
The nice thing about it is too, they never go away. So, and you get super credits when you're playing the game. So you could literally just grind super credits out.
Yeah, I'm down like 800. Shit.
Oh, if you got 800, you just have to unlock 2 pages and just get 2 there. Because remember, you get 100 credits per page.
Yeah, but I'm 200 credits. I mean, I'm close, I think, to 1. But I think I have like 250 because I spent it on some stuff.
That's fair. That's fair.
See, here's my thing with Helldivers 2.
Mm-hmm.
One, it's a budget Destiny. Like, it really is. The whole premise of it is, yeah, you have like the Fortnite Battle Pass system, which you get in-game boosts and new weapons and stuff. So it's not just skins, which is nice, but that's effectively how you get everything. But every mission, it just feels like a Destiny 2 raid. If the developers were really lazy and like wanted to make them short and repetitive. Like, it's a fun game. I enjoy it, but like after the first week or so, I have trouble sitting down and playing it for more than an hour or two because I feel like I'm doing the exact same thing over and over again with different people of varying levels of intelligence to complete the missions.
That's
because you don't believe
in democracy.
You don't believe in the real truth of democracy.
No, and that's the other
the lore is what got me. That's what got me hooked. This whole idea of a games for service game where the goal is to delete content. I fucking love it. Like the fact that we took the robots off the board for 48 hours is still something that's super cool to me.
I mean, isn't that like how they did Planet Side? Like similar concept?
Planet Side was like that too. And that was another game that I was super, super into back in the day. Because you would have like there were 3 factions. So you picked your faction and it was like, was it 100 on 100 or something like that? Or 50 on 50 on 50?
Something like that,
It was a huge battle game, but your goal was to take over the planets. And there were points in it where you could take over an entire planet and nobody else could get to it. It was really, really cool. Another game that had awesome mechs in it too. If I ever get sick of Helldivers 2, I might have to go back and start playing PlanetSide again. That game was fucking fun. That's the lore and the gameplay loop is what's kind of like keeping me in.
That's ironic that the gameplay loop is what's keeping you in because it's making me not want to play it as much.
But there is a new mission. Did you play the new one?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
No, the one where you have to block off all the areas and protect the missile base before the silos launch.
Yeah,
I played that one.
I thought that one was fun.
It's fun, but there's not enough game modes or different maps or anything like that to keep it fresh. Maybe it'll get better with time. I'm not sure, but
it's still a young game, so I mean, there's time.
Yeah.
There is, and it's going to sit in early access for the next 6 years until it's officially launched when we're down to 4% of the client base left. And then we'll move on to the next game.
I mean,
I'm not salty about early access games at all. Whatever. But the other thing that is my other favorite talking point about this game is the morons on the dead named site, formerly known as Twitter, which, for whatever reason, seem to believe that the woke crowd is trying to make this game and its lore about fascism, when that's clearly not the case. And there are threads on threads on threads about how this is not what fascism is, and people have a stupid leftist understanding of how fascism works and how that can't apply to a video game. And oh my, I just died. I read these threads for like 2 hours, and I actively got stupider as I continued reading them, but it was worth it.
Can video games just be video games? Can we just get in a game and just play it? I
No,
mean,
like the devs were actively saying this is satire on fascism, just like Starship
Yeah.
Troopers, which it's
yeah.
clearly influenced by, and people started bashing them for saying that it doesn't exist and that they're just being stupid woke leftists, and it was great. I loved everything about it. The internet is a horrible place, and it's so entertaining.
I love. There's somebody who on Reddit who posted pictures that were talking about, oh, this game's so woke. Look at all this, and then the dude's like, yeah, I know this game's totally woke. Body types: slim, burly. It's like there's no genders, there's no nothing. It's just you slim and burly.
Yeah, and that's what makes the game. That's what makes the game for me kind of fun because it's like you're not wasting. I mean, yeah,
You're
if
not
it's Burning
spending an
Destiny, like I
hour
like to
making a
critic.
character.
Yeah, I like making a character, whatever. But I mean, the way I view the game is here's a simple game. Here's some simple lore.
Mm-hmm.
Get in there and play. That's it. I mean, the moment you, at least for me, the moment I turn on the game, it's only a few seconds, like maybe like 5 seconds once I click on the game to where I'm in the action versus any other game. And I feel like that's the way the developers are doing is like get in here, play with your friends, play with somebody, and then just try to wreak havoc or survive the havoc that's coming at you.
Mm-hmm.
And
See, well,
that's
I
it.
mean,
And here's a little bit of here's a little bit of lore.
even so, I mean, like if you were thinking about like the looking at the society that the game is in, right?
Mhm.
What sort of body types would you have that were part of these crews that were doing these jobs, right?
Mhm.
You would have people that were either one genetically engineered in order to fulfill these roles,
Mm-hmm.
or two people that were molded through training in order to become a particular shape. And there's really only two shapes that most fighting people typically take: big and burly, like myself, or skinny, like Hunter. You know.
I mean, even to that point, I forgot what supports that is like the movie that Chris Pratt came out with, where people from the future come back and they've been recruiting them to fight in the future to figure out what's going on against the aliens or whatever. And so they're picking anybody they can, again, according to their timeline on when they're supposed to die, off the thing. Some people want to go to the fight, some people don't want to go fight. To me, that's just like what the game is. The whole point of the game is you're just a any old body that fell for the rules of democracy to apply. That's why you don't got the same character. It's supposed to be different every time you die. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just a body they're sending.
Yeah, it's
So
a literal meat grinder. Which I
yeah,
actually wanted to kind of touch on. It's like at first I liked the game when I was playing like the trivial difficulty to about like difficulty 4. I think it's like what medium is that's medium, right? Or challenging. But I was like the
no,
game's
that's
okay.
medium.
It's not super difficult. And then I got lucky enough to be power leveled into Hell Dive, and that is the only difficulty I can play because that is what the game's supposed to be. It's like, did you make one mistake? Well, guess what? Now there are 400 somethings that are trying to pick you apart, and it's something about that chaos just gets me going.
Mhm.
I mean, it's kind of like that with 7 Days to Die for me because of the fact that, like, the speaking of games that have been forever in alpha, right? So, um, like, you once you establish yourself, you have all these weapons, you know the grind to get to survive it, right?
Mm.
And all of a sudden, tier one quests, oh, two zombies. Oh, fuck this, man. This is boring. This is boring. I'm not getting any loot. Give me hell. Give me the 40,000 radioactive zombies trying to eat my face.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know that feel, bro.
Mhm.
But
It's
yeah,
like
it's,
I mean, with oh, go ahead.
well, no, that's what it's like when Hunter's saying like the game's getting stale. It's like, well, you're not playing on the difficulty that makes it not stale.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a love hate relate in any game that I like to play. It's a love hate relationship. Helldivers is in that same realm where, again, if I get put with some randoms that know what they're doing, you know, and I'm still new to the game because again, I'm figuring out all the modifiers to as you get to difficulties higher, then you have your different modifiers from different planets having, acid rain, fire tornadoes
Fire
that make you
tornadoes.
laugh, that come out of nowhere. I mean, you start to kind of pick it up, and again, I played the new mission, no problems. Like we had I mean, not to say it got boring, but I almost felt like, man, I didn't even have to be in this because these other guys pretty much handled. We're just dropping the airships. Then I played on with some randoms at level 6, which I think is extreme. I think, and the bugs just overran us. Like
Oh
before you
yeah,
know it, it's like two big
the
what you call
Bile
bio
Titans.
titans.
Yep.
Then you got the freaking tank chasers, and then the jumper hunters, and I'm like, God, man, like somebody lay down some. I get respawned in the game. You put me right back where I just died at. Like, come on, dude. Like I'm trying to get
Get
more of my
back in the
stuff and
fight.
everything. Like I mean, when it gets crazy, and that's where it gets the frustrating but also fun part. Like it's that coming up a hill. Oh crap! They dropped a tank. Is that a Hulk over there? Freak! And you just run around the corner like around the mountain or the hill. You're like shit. Hold on, let me do my commands real quick. Oh crap! Shit. I'm on fire. I'm dead.
Yep. Actually,
You
one
don't
thing.
have time to use a stim if you're on fire.
So, fun fact: use real world tactics. If you dive, it stops the fire.
What?
Yep. When I was playing around with it, yes, it was like yesterday, the day before. I got set on fire by a Hulk. I dove on accident, and I was like, "Oh, I can stim myself now."
How can you live long enough to dive after getting touched by a candle wick?
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I guess I've just been lucky.
because my health goes down like in 3 seconds. So I was like,
Yeah,
So,
no, fire is
quick
no fucking joke in this game.
quick question: what do you think? What sort of mechanics do you think that this game is missing?
What is missing?
Yeah,
Honestly,
It's missing a real raid system.
fair. I want to see urban combat. I want to weave through buildings and stuff. I want fucking 40k city fights. Because something about I want to recreate that scene from Terminator fighting the automatons. I'm running through a bombed out fucking city.
I mean, if we're gonna do that, we might as well just play like Gears of War 2.
Yeah, but I don't want Gears of War.
yeah, and I think one of the problems I see with introducing urban combat and stuff like that is that you run into like people basically that map getting stale because it's the same city over and over and over again, and because the joy in urban combat is of course the unpredictability. But if you know the city like the back of your hand, then where's the fun in that, right?
Well, and there
so
is,
maybe
it does
they
seem
had
like
like
there's
a
some
semi-random,
procedural generation in the game,
right?
though. So
Yeah.
I think that would kind of keep it on the less stale side. But as
Yeah.
of currently, it's like some minor outposts and terrain. That's really it. It's kind of like your generic 40k skirmish board, which is why I think
yeah,
if
because
they were to throw in like a city fight map or something, that would actually that would definitely increase the fun. At least for the bots. The bugs would be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I think one of the another issue with that is pathfinding, right? So, if in the case that let's say you have this procedurally generated city, could it be possible that they create a scenario through this procedural generation that is unwinnable,
Oh,
and
easily.
thus because it's unwinnable, it's unfair? Or do you think that'd be humbling enough to where it would be able to make it like that next hill to climb, or
Well,
do you think it
as
would
far
chase
as
people
unwinnable
away?
goes, the last major order that went out was defend 3 planets from the automaton assault, and there's no way
oh
in
yeah,
hell that everybody was going to be able to band together and get that one done. So
Well,
there,
not everybody, right?
yeah, because there's still
yeah,
people over
damn
on the
Joe
bot side, on the bug side, but at the same time, like there's as many as numerous as the players are, there's not enough to coordinate something like that, and I
yeah,
think
and
they did that on purpose.
yeah.
I
So
mean,
so
I
with
would.
that one, one video I seen from a guy I've been following since Division 2. Um, his outlook on it was that one, like Nico said, when they came back, like I said, I was surprised because I messaged both him and Hunter. I'm like, hey, the
We killed
toasters are
off the
back.
toasters, and then they came
Yeah, we
back
cut them off,
48
and
hours
then
later.
out of nowhere, like yeah, they're back or whatever. And then I'm looking at the map. I'm like, hold on, there's 3 planets to defend. You had I think 4 to liberate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, there's no way. And the guy I was listening to on YouTube was saying the same thing. Like, this is the dungeon master Joel, or the game master,
Yep.
doing this to mess with us because you put out the order on the week in the middle of the week.
Yep.
That's the lowest amount of people that are on the game. Usually nobody comes. So now we got to decide: do we defend the planets? Which he said, you might as well just let them go,
Mm-hmm.
and just liberate 2 planets that are closer to supposedly the home planet
Cyberstan.
of the automatons or the cyborgs.
Mm-hmm.
At least you cut off their supply. You got to think like that. And I think that what also creates kind of battles of staleness because now it's like, okay, it's a race of what do we do? How can we
where would
communicate?
be the next strategic point to hit to
Yeah.
actually make this work? And that's
Yeah.
what I really like about it because you almost feel like you're in this story. Like the immersion on it, I think is great.
I mean,
Do you think that-
would much rather we get a Kobayashi Maru mission, like Glenn suggested. That sounds great.
Do you think that the game could ever reach the level of sophistication of, like, let's say, EVE Online or something like that?
The only reason why I don't think so is due to the engine that it's running off of. It's running off of an no longer supported version of AutoCAD Gaming. So unless they had the source code to build out the engine more, I don't think it'd be able to support that. It would be kind of cool though. I'll admit that. It would be kind of cool.
What engine would you suggest that they move to if they wanted to, if you wanted to have a new engine for the game, like just a complete rebuild?
They'd have to go to something super moldable, like I hate to say it, Unity, but Unity has its problems. Unreal 5 would be another one to go to. The problem is Unreal 5 is still in its infancy, and there are issues with it, I find.
Well, not to mention licensing in general too with that.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they already bought a license with AutoCAD, and as somebody who has to buy licenses for AutoCAD, that shit ain't cheap. So I don't think it's the money's the issue. I think it would be the time in development would be the issue, and the only way they'd really be able to do that is if they went with Unreal or Unity.
I mean, really, at that point, they just
need to
Make a
build
new
their own.
game at that point. Yeah. So, all right. So we got the bugs, we got the bots. Who's the third big bad?
So there have been, I mean, it's been That's actually, you know what, a good question. How do you guys feel about leaks?
I don't care.
Talkable subjects.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Just as long as we say, "Hey, we're about to make a leak, possibly."
Okay. So speaking of leaks, in 5, 4,
Allegedly.
3, 2, 1. Hunter, you pissed yourself. No. So.
Damn it.
So no, there have been leaks of like full models in game of the Illuminate, which were the third faction in the original Helldivers game. So they're definitely coming back. It's just a matter of when. I personally think it's going to be sometime this month. I think they're coming back. I think they're going to be coming in real soon. I also am of the belief that if we fail this major order, which we will, the bots are going to reclaim Cyberstan and they're going to bring the cyborgs into the fold, which means big metal dogs running after nipping at our asses. So that'll be fun.
Could you see a
There's
maybe
definitely room on the
some-
map for a new faction too, by the way. Like,
I was going to say,
the map is huge.
could there be
they could
like
definitely
some
do something.
anti-human alliance that is created between the bots and the bugs, where the bots?
I am curious to see if they do something like that because
Yeah,
there were reports
where they have like a half robot bug.
Well, there was reports early in the game where like players were being randomly sniped by blue lasers, which are the lasers that all their stuff was like blue energy. So they set it up like that could be possible. Whether it'll happen or not, I don't know.
There's
There's definitely room on the map for a new faction too, by the way. Like, the map is huge.
definitely room on the map for a new faction too, by the way.
Like,
I would be messed up if they introduced them and they're like interfering with our missions or something.
I think it would
More.
actually be kind of cool to have bugs versus boss versus humans versus boss. Like just have a three, like just a triple threat match. So then you kind of kite them into each other and use that as a tactic.
It's
I
not
think that'd
really
be
a
pretty cool.
battle though, because the bugs are just
It's
going to
more of a
run at you
Mexican
at full
standoff.
speed, while the bots are just going to go,
Yep,
and that's all they do. Well, you get to shoot them,
yeah, that's accurate.
because only like 1 out of every 3 of them actually wants to attack you. It feels like.
You need to play Helldiver mode. Their AI is way more aggressive.
That's good because everything below that, I know I've done challenging, whatever it is. I've done up to that, but the other ones I've done like Helldiver and others really early on when I just joined a really high level lobby. That was it.
Okay, fair.
When do we get a human versus human, Helldiver versus Helldiver fight?
I don't think
Christmas?
they're ever going to do that. I don't think they're going to do PvP.
They're
feel
like,
it'd be really
for
boring.
democracy,
Right?
for the republic. No.
It would be just nothing but orbital barrages. That's all I feel like it would be.
It would be really boring. And there are still
That's
some
meant for
rampant
cheating.
cheaters out there too, so it would not be fun.
People are cheating.
Oh yeah. I was in a lobby with some dude who had infinite grenades.
Okay, I get that.
What, you don't have infinite grenades?
No.
Come on, keep up, man.
But yeah, no, so there has been
You're
some
talking about,
like
like,
some
map
cheaters
hacks
out
and
there, like
game
and people
bots.
who've hacked the game. So I don't want to see a PvP mode because it'll give me like PTSD flashbacks from Dark Souls Online.
Just nothing but people tumbling.
Yeah, and then
The
like,
roly
you're
poly.
10 feet away and they still whack you with a dagger.
I mean, I feel it'd be if they did that, it to me it'd be like Destiny.
Yeah,
Like,
it'd almost be too
people
much like
tend-
Destiny.
yeah, people tend to forget that, especially when they have the whole argument of like they're not doing nothing for PvP and nothing against those guys, but it's like, as far as my understanding, Destiny is a PvE game.
Yeah, and they still have the Crucible.
Yeah, and why are we doing this? I mean,
Yeah, and let's be fair.
one thing's gonna
How
suffer.
many Crucible matches have you played in the 12 years you've been playing Destiny?
At least one.
That I would say in the beginning, I played more Crucible only because I had people to play with.
Mm-hmm.
So from Dexter, Randy, from Logistics, and a couple of people remember. That's the only time I played Crucible. I think I messed with Trials of Osiris once or twice, but my whole thing is story. Again, when the rotations used to come, it used to be strikes, nightfall, raids. Especially if we can get 6. Hey, we're going to the vote at that time, the Vote of Glass, Crota, whatever, and we have our crew running in to get the whole power grind, and then to get the exotics. But PvP, I only mess with if I had a bunch of people, or if it was something to the effect of, okay, I have to do this to gain this. But most of the time, I would play Gambit. Gambit was the best because it reminded me of Dr. Mario a little. I don't know. Just the whole fact that you're going against the computer, but you're also going against some. So hopefully with Gambit, they fix it because it's enjoyable in that part.
So
Speaking of Gambit, is everybody here caught up on X-Men 97 yet?
No.
yes,
Nope, I'm still on X-Men that aired in '97. Which the only thing I'm going to say is that they nerfed Wolverine. Cyclops is dang, dude. I didn't know you were that kind of weak, whatever. But I don't understand how Wolverine in the original X-Men, how he got slashed by Sabretooth, and it takes him like 2 or 3 whole days to heal.
because it
was
hurt his
weird.
heart. Don't you know? It's his brother.
No, that's not his brother. No, hell no.
I'm talking about the. I'm
movie?
referencing the movies
No,
where they had the Logan, Logan and Wolverine. They were like brothers. Yeah, man.
With
Anyways,
that James and what was the name? John when they were brothers or something?
Yeah. That it was James. I think it was James Howlett and then John Howlett. But yeah, that first they had. Oh my god, I hate y'all.
You're welcome. No, like you guys need to watch X-Men 97 already so we can talk about it. because it's a lot of fun and it's annoying when you guys don't.
Says
At
the
least
guy
for
who
me.
just finished Loki season 2.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's only
just
6
because it
episodes.
wasn't good, not because any other reason.
So, all right, what were you gonna mention about Gambit? Were you gonna mention something about him charging up Wolverine's claws, or like, what were you gonna talk about?
So many things I wanted to mention about it. He got the best spotlight of that show so far, and it was awesome. Like the last episode focused on Jubilee in the video game, and so that was fun that like we got to focus on her. But man, the spotlight they put on Gambit was so cool. Charging up the Sentinel uh, tentacle. I guess I'm trying not to give
Yeah.
anything away to them, and it's so challenging to talk
You're
about
fine.
this, but yeah.
Well, I mean, from what I've seen, even though the guy got fired, what he at least did was expanded on people's powers. Because again,
Well,
going
yeah,
back
and
to
showed
the
their
original
powers
X-Men-
working how they should. Like the fact that
Yeah.
Cyclops drops from the bird and does the X pose and the laser blast from Marvel vs. Capcom to land.
Mhm.
Like that was the
We just
coolest.
haven't even watched this show yet. Why are you both trying to talk about it?
Don't worry
No,
about it.
because I mean, I can at least say from what I've seen, different clips that came out,
Mm-hmm.
and from what I've got up to as far as the original X-Men anime, it's clear night and day on what they done. And I guess depending on how the studios did it, again, you nerfed Wolverine when he fought Sabretooth. That just made me laugh on that part.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
it
if he's
clearly had-
invincible, I mean, where's the storytelling at, right? It's all about the
Yeah.
story. You have to have, if I mean, Sabretooth has always been Wolverine's foil in the storyline, right? And so for him inside the story to have, like a much harder time healing up from Sabretooth in particular, it gives reason for why, he's this huge pillar that he's got to get that he has to knock down, and why he's so dangerous. So the plot tension is still there because of the danger that Sabretooth shows to him. Otherwise, it's like, we're gonna basically, bitch slap each other until we get angry and walk away. No. Danger means story. And so
Like
I
even
think
in-
it's not a bad idea to have Wolverine be just a little nerfed, not so much, a Mary Sue as he is in many other pieces of media.
It's the same reason why the Flash is only as fast as the villain of the week needed him to be in the CW series, because otherwise you just don't have a show.
Well, because they were sharing the Speed Force. That was the reason why.
That's
Can't
usually
finish
not
speed-
the excuse they used. Generally, they didn't have an excuse, or they just made Barry really dumb and not like a crime scene tech or work in law enforcement or understand like what a crime scene looks like. And so he couldn't deduce his way out of anything, which was hilarious.
I mean, with that too. I mean, I'm assuming you're talking about the show, not the anime.
Yeah,
or
CW
anything else.
Flash.
Yeah, I mean, even with that one, the way they nerfed that one was just the simple fact that since Reverse Flash did what he did, it altered how the Flash got, even though he got his powers, how he came to be. And so basically, it was, oddly, it's like Metroid, where you played when it came out to what was the GameCube, where you lost all your armor or whatever, and little by little you had to gain it back. So that's how Flash was.
The Flash,
But then
the
again, it was-
Metroidvania of TV.
Yeah. Then, like I said, it was one of those things where it's like it was geared toward young adults. So that was another thing too, is they have to give him an antagonist. It's just like Smallville watching it for I think the third time, where I actually was rooting for Lex Luthor, because the way Clark Kent used to try to get out of things, he lied to the point where it's like, dude, I can tell you're lying. Like, give it up to time. I really he hated you, like he hated Superman.
Hey Rico, I'm hate to cut you off, man. You might want to move your pop filter a bit, because every time you move your head away from the mic, we're losing you.
Oh, okay.
I
thought you were like purposely bleeping yourself out. I thought it was kind of funny.
Because I'm so angry. You guys get me so angry sometimes.
I don't give a
Jackman.
about anything.
Yeah. And another one.
All
So
right.
now, Hunter's saying we got to finish X-Men '97.
So it
I'll
seems
see if I
like
can finish it.
Very much. It's so good. Shockingly entertaining.
all right.
So,
Let's get to
have
Loki.
have you done any of the homework that I've assigned?
There was homework
There's
assigned.
homework.
I finished the Requiem for a Nightmare.
Requiem from the Darkness.
Fuck, I wrote it wrong. In my notes I said darkness, but my other
You're
one says Nightmare.
fine. Yeah. What'd you think, man? Like, what were your thoughts?
Uh, it was great. It was there was kind of like funny moments, especially for the guy that you find out who he was at the end of the episode. The way he just got destroyed, it was just funny. He was just, you know, they did what they did, and he just looks at his fate like, he doesn't move or nothing, and it's over that quick. It's not a really good description. I would just say
Did
this.
you watch like just episode 1 or like
No, I've seen all the
like
episodes.
oh you saw all of the episodes? Okay, so you're talking about the tree episode where the dudes like
No, no,
killing the
no. Actually, I
brides,
jumped
or
ahead. I was talking about the main bad guy, but I didn't want to really spoil it or whatever. But
I understand.
I will at least say for each episode, it holds its own. Far as the whole thing of the guy trying to come up with these ghost stories, and the fact that he's going back and forth on his own morals, on the fact of look, coming out of side of his town and seeing how, at the very core, there's darkness in every human, even those ones are good. To the point where, for him, he's still trying to decide, what is the best route for some of these people. Are they worth saving, or they're not on that part? The detective part was
Right.
pretty good. I thought it was pretty good on that part, even though you could see how they want to help them out at one point, but then in the other one they're like, "Hey, you us when you interfere in this stuff. We just give people their judgment like a grim reaper."
Yeah, it was. There's a lot of like karmic retribution. It's like, yeah, sure, you've redeemed yourself, but you deserve death.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's very Shinto of them.
So the anime was good again. It's Magna is the one who was behind it. I think it's TSI Entertainment. When I looked it up, did the anime too. So they did a bunch of stuff, but overall, it was pretty good. It's kind of sad to see it was only at least on Prime. It's only one season.
It is
But at
only
least
one season because of the fact that it's based off of a series of books, and so they ran out of books. Therefore, there's no more stories.
Okay, so at least they ended it. They ended it on a good note on that part. So it was good. It was good.
All right, I'm glad you enjoyed it, dude. I really am. Yeah, it's like one of my favorite animes. That and Gunslinger Girl, but that's a whole nother topic.
Have you seen Steins Gate?
Yes, I have. I love
That's
Steins Gate.
that's probably my favorite anime that I discovered in like the last 10 years.
Fair.
What about it did you like?
I really just enjoyed the time traveling aspect. It's just not something that's done very often in anime, or if it is, it's not like the whole premise of the series. It's used more as like a side gimmick. So like I just thought like bring in sci-fi and time traveling, they did a really good job in there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why most people listed on the top 10 animes that they enjoy. So yeah, definitely, they use the elements well. I agree.
Posted in the Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah. I added to my list. But Nico was saying Loki.
Yeah, let's do
Yes, he
Loki.
was saying low key. I don't.
Yeah, let's do
You're gonna
Loki.
get Loki on Loki.
Am I kicking this off or
Yeah, kick it
what's
off.
happening
You're
here?
the one who just watched it.
Okay. I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? Because you kept talking about redemption and wanting to talk about it to go over redemption, but he already redeemed himself in the first season, which was dumb because the character that actually redeemed himself initially was one that was killed by Thanos, and we had literal years of watching the character develop and come to grips with the fact that he was an asshole before he wanted to change his ways. And over the course of season one, he was back to that same person within like 3 episodes. So we already went through the whole redemption arc. What are you guys interested in talking about there?
So I'm a level with you. After I saw Loki season 2, I said the exact same thing.
Well, it kind of turned into a buddy comedy. I'm just going to say that. Like, it was a buddy comedy
fun.
beforehand, but it's more of a buddy comedy now. You know?
How many times can Loki kill himself running that pipe?
I mean, what it basically came down to was, yeah, it was a buddy cop series, which was a lot of fun. It's the same reason why I really enjoyed Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because it was just a buddy cop Lethal Weapon series, and that was awesome.
I always thought it was a buddy cop Family Matters, but yeah, I can get that.
Yeah, that works too. But
48 hours.
It also then at the very end, they just looked to Doctor Who, like especially like David Tennant era Doctor Who, and they just came up with the concept out of left field to have him be I guess the god of time. But like it was fun, but I very much got Doctor Who vibes out of it, which I mean, was still
That's
great.
fair.
But it very much reminded me of like a good Doctor Who episode.
Fun fact: did you see that David Tennant's back as Doctor Who?
I did not.
Yeah,
Like a special or for the series?
I don't know. I just saw David Tennant in the trailer. I was like, huh, that tickles a nostalgia thing.
They own his soul, that's why. And he hasn't gotten any other roles. So, I mean, why not?
It was the Purple Man.
He was the cop in Breakpoint. Was it called Breakpoint? He was actually the cop in both the American and the Scottish version.
And then he has a show where he plays a demon opposite of another guy who's an angel.
Oh yeah, Bad
Good
Omens.
intentions. Or Bad Omens, sorry. Yeah, Bad Omens.
Yeah,
Toads.
which was great. They were talking about a season 2, but I never heard anything on that. I'm gonna look that up.
I think they are working on a season 2 right now. Because
Did they
that
finish
actually
out
popped up not too long
the
ago.
book? Did they finish out the Good Omens book material in the season?
I want to say they did, but I also haven't read the book in at least 10 years. It's downstairs. I could read it and find out, but I don't know. I'll let you know. But okay, Rico. So
enough.
like before we
More
get off
homework.
Loki, because you guys made me watch this and you wouldn't stop talking about it for a month. So like, do you feel that there was some redemption arc that he still needed to get through for that season?
No, I think with season 2, I really feel at least to give Marvel credit, they really gave his character a true purpose, and the fact that everything that he's done since he was introduced in the MCU, that was his whole thing. Even if we go with I think with the original Loki that got killed by Thanos, one thing that the show did that the movie didn't do, have him come to full terms of what he's done. In the movies, he's more reactive. When he finds his mother died, is more reactive. He's never got to really face it. Because then, when you go to Thor Ragnarok, it's still comedy. He's still trying to be a thorn more than a thorn in Thor's side on that part. So I think what the show at least did was show an arc to where it's like, hey, here's true purpose, but you have to get over this other thing you've been trying to do, as far as takeover and stuff like that. So at least with season 1, you saw even when he faced himself, that was the whole thing. Is like, are we still going to be, in a way, killing yourself, trying to have power or whatever like that. So with season 2, I just felt that regardless of what you feel about Jonathan Majors, him being Kang, it at least showed that, okay, we can bring your character to a whole, we can bring it to true redemption, and you have your purpose of being the keeper of, or the keeper of the maintainer of the multiverse. Because there is a character in the comic books, his name escapes me. I think it's close to it's not Atlantis, but it's something similar. But that's essentially what he's doing, is giving everybody MCU's making it where it's like, okay, now that he's the maintainer, they're gonna find a way to bring everything back. My only question for the redemption part was just, do we as the reader, is there a set thing to where a character is unredeemable? Like, for example, you mentioned Invincible, right? I saw the first episode. spoiler alert, the main dude kills everybody. That shocked me. I'm like, no rhyme or reasons. He just kills the whole, or in this case, the Justice League real quick. So my thing is, if this dude, again, I have to continue watching the episodes. So if by episode 8, he says, well, now I'm a good guy. What makes him a good guy now? What does he have to do? What does the character have to do? Truly redeem himself to the reader's eye. Like, again, we mentioned in a different podcast, I mentioned like Punisher, Hal Jordan when he got possessed by Paradox. If you want to go biblical, you got Saul. If you want to go Star Wars, you got Anakin Vader. Again, he killed He killed Padawan. Other Jedi members, and he a threat to the dark side. Yet he saved Luke Skywalker, and that was his that was his redemption to show that hey, he was good. You saved one dude, you killed thousands, maybe multiple, millions, whatever. Even Peacemaker too, with his whole thing, what he did for as God, democracy, but then he had his redemption once he killed his father. So
I will say this, so at least they acknowledge my thought that Batman is irredeemable because he straight up called Batman a pussy because he doesn't take out his enemies.
Oh yeah, yeah, but I mean, again, I think that goes back to philosophy on who do you feel on that part. You have some people who feel like, in a way, like in real life, the death penalty. If somebody commits a crime, depending on how heinous, should they be put to death? And if it's so, how does that reflect to our society on that part?
And I think Batman's whole thing is the fact that he wants to give them a chance to be good.
And I get that. Like, don't get me wrong, Batman is one of my favorites. Is like my all-time number one favorite superhero. I still don't think that he is the hero in his stories. He is the villain. How many times?
Well, I mean, he's just as crazy as the Joker, man.
Exactly.
They're two sides of the same coin.
That's the thing. How many times has he put Joker behind bars in Arkham for Joker to come out and just kill numerous amounts of people?
That doesn't make him the villain. That doesn't make him an accessory because he refuses to kill him.
I think he keeps him alive, if not for the sake that he himself can be saved, if in the case the Joker can turn over a new leaf.
Also,
that's what I'm saying. I think it's a self conflict that Batman's like, I'm a multi-billionaire playboy, and I go out in the night and fuck people up, and this is obviously crazy, but if the Joker can become sane, then I have a chance,
Yeah, but isn't
look at me like scared, like
Batman's power is that he just creates his own like he just creates his own troubles, where like he's a magnet for like evil.
I mean, any superhero is in that.
Yeah, it's the line. It's the line in the sand, in a sense. But I think with Batman,
he's the embodiment of justice or something like that. You were telling me about this, Rico.
Yeah, I mean, far as Batman, at least my viewpoint is that he's not seeking redemption for what? He didn't kill nobody, nothing like that. He has a code. His whole thing is
it's survivor's guilt, man.
It's not even survivor's guilt. It's more or less of my actions are needed in order for the city to be redeemed. Because as many times as he puts the Joker away or anybody else away, what does the justice system do? They either allow him to escape. You know this dude's going to escape. You allow him to escape, or you don't put him on the trial, or better yet, he's quote unquote has to be rehabilitated, which again goes to Harley Quinn, how he broke Harley Quinn, and it's the cycle that goes back and forth. So, I mean, for me,
so you're saying that Gotham itself is evil because it's not Batman's fault. He's just the cop that's saving them.
They can't turn it off.
Technically, anybody, if anybody can correct me, that is the whole. That was the whole purpose. If you want to pull it from the movies, if you want to pull it from the comic book, where the League of Shadows was saying Gotham was unredeemable. We're the cleansing force that comes through. Once a city gets to a certain point, figure it to be like Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't know if that was mentioned in the movie. I know they said they did it before. Oh no, I think they did it to Rome or somebody. Once they get to a certain filth level, whatever, the League of Shadows come through and they do a cleansing. Even the Court of Owls was like, hey, we're the powers, we're the ones behind the scenes controlling certain things. So that was the whole reason why, again, if you went off the just how bad there is a filth in the city that needs to be clean, and I got to be the knight to do this one. Even in the movies, again, he was pictured as the Dark Knight, not the White Knight as Harvey Dent was. And once Harvey Dent got broken, it was all on put it on me on Batman. I'll take on the burden, so that way what we done doesn't get messed up. What we all know with Bane and that junk that got messed up. Yeah, I don't think Batman is asking or looking for redemption. It's more or less of the city needs redemption.
I see. That makes actually a lot of sense. I think that's a very wise analysis of it. Now, y'all have seen the previews for the new Joker 2 movie that has been making the rounds.
I've seen snippets of it. I haven't seen the full teaser yet.
It is gorgeous. So good. Yeah, I think Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn just fucking nails it. It is everything that I'd want for Joaquin Phoenix's Joker to fall in love with Harley Quinn. I think it's awesome because in a lot of ways in the trailer they kind of basically have shown her as an enabler in the way that like a lot of the power dynamic of classic Joker and Harley, where he's the one that corrupts her. It's that he is sick and then she like grabs a hold of him and thrusts him into greatness, then gives him everything that he wants. It's like this almost like a succubus character where she's like, just from the snippets it looks like, she's trying to push him into the delusion where his megalomania is finally fulfilled, where he's loved and appreciated and artistic and all this other fun stuff, and he's able to see the bright and happy things in the world because of Harley Quinn, and that's the poison that she brings. And I just thought it was really, really great just from what I saw there.
Yeah, but does she have the accent?
What?
Does she have the accent?
They
no.
She doesn't actually say anything during the no. It's just Lady. Actually, she does say a couple things. Yeah, it's just Lady Gaga basically.
If it's on a Dirty Jersey accent, that movie is a 0 on 10. Will not watch.
Hey, you can keep that Elseworld somewhere else.
No. Ooh! Shots fired. I'm sorry.
Wow. Just off the beautiful cinematic shots that
like honestly, I think it's poetry in motion, my friend.
You said beautiful cinematic shocks me.
And also, I'm like going right with Glenn on her being the enabler, and by the time they get to the end of the film, he's just going to be full on Joker mode, and it's going to be terrifying. And I'm sure, like, he's probably going to kill her by the end of it. Like, that seems like what it's being set up to is she's like really driving him into.
Or even worse, like not even he's going to kill her, but she's going to make him kill her out of love. Yeah. And that basically like the last thing is like, I love you. I love you too. And she's going to die with a big old smile on her face. And like, and he just breaks after that. And finally becomes, the monster that he intends to be instead of the mental patient.
Nah.
Which, I don't know. I think it has the ability, I think that it really, really, if they make a third Joker movie, I'm not quite sure where they're going to take it, or how they're going to be able to top this.
Rico's very not sold on these takes.
No, man. I feel like okay, to each his own on that part. I'll just say that. But I feel like it's like Zack Snyder again, where he's like, I want Batman to do this. Well, Batman doesn't kill. Well, why doesn't he kill? Let me just kill a couple of people. It's like you're changing the lore just to do it to claim that you did something. Like, I took it and I made it my own thing.
Well, I mean, that's why it's an Elsewhere.
Yeah, and I'm glad they did it like that, because at first it was the whole thing of, well, this is going to be part of the canon and everything else. Like, no, again, I feel like it's like the MCU, where it's like, at least with MCU, they didn't have the movie rights to all the characters, so you had a thing around a particular person. So once Robert Downey Jr. played Tony Stark, that was their golden egg. They're like, what Iron Man does. Even though in the comic books we know that no, everything is not centered on Iron Man, on his actions, whatever. DC is another beast that thing. So I can get the first one where you had Joker, a different creative way of how he became Joker.
I think your mic is dying.
Yeah, dude,
I think your mic is
just
dying,
shit
dude.
itself.
Cutting out for giant chunks of time.
Oh man.
I
Okay.
think it has to do
the
with
noise
you're too far away, as well as your noise reduction is way too aggressive.
Your noise reduction is way too aggressive.
I'll reduce your noise.
It's on crisp. Yeah, it's on crisp.
I would probably drop it.
We got too low.
All
right, so the short version would be I would say this: if I got cut out all the way, my apologies, but I think with it is just more or less of, if you're gonna change the lore, I got to see what the purpose is. I mean, again, I wouldn't say Harley Quinn is necessarily not an enabler in the story, but there's a rhyme and reason. Joker was just seeing her as another one, and it became a weird relationship between them. As far as that, I mean, if you're changing it, what is the purpose you're changing it for? Is it because you don't want to project some type of abusive relationship that is in the comic book?
Well, okay, so the reason why I think that they're going the way that they are with this elsewhere is because, I mean, the very same reason why you said that why Batman is the way that he is because it's this Joker is showing that the monster is not in fact him. He is merely just a poor sick man, and that it's the city that is irredeemable, right? Because what is it? What is it that creates him as a monster? The city, the people, the nastiness that he's experienced, right? And what causes all the damage? What causes him to be able to escape at the end of the movie? The city, the rioters, the nastiness, the evil, the irredeemable face of the city, right? And so I think it falls in line with the original storyline in the fact that it shows the real bad guy, which is the city. And so, I mean, in terms of, I guess, a third movie, I just thought about this just now. Maybe they'll just bring in Batman. Like, that will be the third movie, is just Batman with the Joker and why, they're bad. But I don't know if they're just going to turn Batman into, like, an asshole that is his opposite coin, as the final, little bow to tie it all off.
And
but
also,
I don't
like, Joker would have to be really old too, because they showed Bruce in the show, and he was like, what, 8, 10 tops?
Did they show Bruce in the?
They showed Bruce in the first movie, yeah.
They did. Oh,
yeah, because
shit! I almost forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, because his dad punches him, the Joker. I mean,
yeah, that'd have to be a fun time lapse.
Well, there it is.
Oh, no! They would do his dad as Batman. They would probably go with that story.
Thomas Wayne.
It would probably be Thomas Wayne's Batman. Because
yes.
Thomas Wayne in the Joker movie did come off more like a hard asshole. So it's very possible that they'd go with Thomas Wayne Batman.
And then that's where this elsewhere is the Thomas Wayne Batman
really
universe.
Cool. They'll never do
that
it,
would
but
be
that
cool.
would be really cool.
Oh, there it is.
Yes.
Oh
yes
man.
No, but I mean, my whole thing with Thomas Wayne, he was introduced in the Flashpoint. Plus, the Joker was his wife.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you can make the Joker's.
And Bruce Wayne is dead.
Son?
If you go back,
Oh yeah, because they still have time to set that up. Maybe
they
not,
do, and they would have him. The entire movie was that Joaquin Phoenix isn't the Joker. He in this elsewhere, he ends up being the guy who creates the Joker, which would be Martha Wayne.
I mean, it's possible, yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, it's speculation on my part.
it's a fucking musical.
Yeah, it's a fucking musical.
You know what? I fucking like musicals. Okay, thank you.
It's a fucking musical.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why it's so great, because musicals are fucking crazy.
They're great.
And it's not even like a musical where they make their own, like, music. It's going to be kind of like a jukebox musical from what I'm told. But I mean, all the same, I mean, that's again, a reflection on the craziness of society, because it's all, I think it fits, personally.
Are you
I'm
just
super
upset
excited about
because
this.
it's a musical? Is that what it comes down to?
I don't
You know
mind. Okay,
me.
so one, I think if they're doing it as a musical, I think it's more or less because Lady Gaga's in it, and it's something that's going to be different. Again,
I mean,
I think
it's
it's going
what
to
they
be
did with
not repetitive,
Hotel
but
whenever they did American Horror Story, so, yeah.
oh,
In
man.
all fairness, they haven't done a comic book movie as a musical yet, so it is new ground.
It
And
is,
it's
but I
funny.
mean, of all characters to do it, you do it with the Joker.
It is
It'd be
fitting.
different if
Who else you
it's
gonna
been
do it
established
with?
in
Yeah,
his head,
exactly.
like in a way
He's
when
breaking the fourth wall, man.
no. I mean, again, it's like I feel like it's Heath Ledger. The one thing I give him credit to is that every time he introduced his story about how he got his scars, it was a different take every time. Just like the
Well,
Killing Joke. If you read the Killing
right.
Joker didn't admit it. Like the origins of how I came to be different. It's different every time I retell it. So
Well, right, and there's no canon true Joker beginning, right?
yeah,
And
there's a
so
one point
that
had
would be
Joker.
why it would be so crazy to have, him not actually be Joker, and this to be the Elsewhere with Martha as the Joker. But I don't know. Anyways,
I mean, I guess it doesn't strike my interest on what they were doing. If anything, this should be the ending chapter of this Joker, and then the focus can go back on what James Gunn is. So that'd be the main thing of what they're gonna do with since Batman version.
I want it.
Hopefully they don't pick
I
that
want it to be
guy
a
to
trilogy, man. I want a trilogy, and I want a good trilogy because it's just so damn good.
That's why we got Madam Web, because of you.
Okay, first of all, the Batman was basically just Matt Reeves artistically jerking it on screen for 3 hours, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
glad they
Oh yeah, I
watched
love
it.
that one. It gave a nod to how Batman is as far as being a detective versus just action. And I mean that's going back to all the Batman movies we've seen as kids to adults. I get different versions. His was really good. His was really great. Could it
And
end it
I
sooner?
still
Yeah.
was surprised Pattinson was able to pull off Batman as well as he was.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time he pulled off something on a movie. So
Oh, okay. I'm that Twilight. I'm done.
what? No, there was a movie where he was like literally jacking it on film because he couldn't act like he was jerking it, and so he just did it. I forgot what movie that was.
It's called method acting. Come on, man.
It's not a piece of trivia I hadn't come across yet.
That's all. That's what. Hey, we have kids and other people watching this. Come on, guys.
I
we
just
doing?
talked about Matt Reeves artistically jerking it on screen. Like, I feel like that's fine.
I mean,
No.
that was the segue.
Where he goes like, I need to avert my virgin ears.
Oh no, somebody's touching a penis.
I have a certain meter of filth, and that was unnecessary.
Is it because you're having this is causing you to have unheterosexual thoughts about Robert Patterson?
No, it just reminds me. It reminds
The
me of
bear's
being in
coming
the
out.
military, being in the military in an all-male unit. How quickly it can go to
0 to
weird gay
60.
stuff. Nothing against that, but it's just weird. Like, hey, I'll show you my balls and penis. Why, dude? Like,
What
We're in
you
the
never
field.
you never participated in Man Love Thursday?
no, not in my household. That was never brought up at all.
So, funny story from the army. So there was this kid named Southern back in AIT, and one particular Man Love Thursday, he was on top of this other kid who I'm not going to name for protecting his identity. And this guy who was underneath him was screaming and yelling, and he was like, "Oh my God, somebody help me! Oh my God!" Because Southern was quite literally dry humping this man, giving him the slow, dirty love. On top of his sheets. Yes, straight up sexual harassment, assault, in fact. And so,
Military?
No.
and so, what'd your boy do? But he came in with his gigantic vinyl mat. In fact, let me see if I have it. Yes, I do. This vinyl mat right here. and I came in from the wings, and I was like, "Get off my battle buddy!" And I smacked him square in the back with a resounding thud. To which this cat immediately stopped his assault on my battle buddy. And he's like, "All right, I'm done. And then he walked away. And you know what? That battle buddy never got humped again.
What kind of
Glad
weird
to know
basic
that I didn't
training
have
did
to
you
worry
go
about
to?
actual buddy
This
fuckers.
AIT.
This is AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't. We had blue falcons. We didn't have literal buddy fuckers.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is the
Yeah,
Air
that
Force, I
people like
guess.
steal your underwear or uniform stuff.
Yeah, I
You guys
didn't.
are
I
just-
didn't have the. I didn't quite experience the full military apparently because I didn't get dry humped by some dude named Southern in the barracks.
But my thing is, this is AIT. So just to bring Hunter in the fold, AIT is where you go learn your job for the military.
Yeah.
So depending on the MOS, it's co-ed. That you'll have some females. Basic training, at least when I was in, it was all male. So that's why I was like, okay, this must be a weird basic training thing. When you said AIT, there's no need to hump other dudes. I mean, it's just
So basic. When I went through basic, it was mixed.
Yeah, as was mine. I have some other stories about that, but that's neither here nor there.
I do remember when I was in basic training that there's I was in Oklahoma for my basic training, so they have tornado shelters, and apparently there was a tornado warning at one point, and two of the privates decided to go have some fun in one of the bunkers, and ended up getting kicked out, and then they got married afterwards. So silver lining.
I'm surprised they didn't recycle them.
Yeah, right.
So I got two from basic training. One is where we had our company had like 4 bays. There was 1 bay that was for the females, 2 bays that were for the males, and then there was an empty bay that wasn't being used by anybody. So it was like where they put all the bullshit and stuff like that. And this one female soldier and this one male soldier got together inside that empty stairwell. And since they didn't have any prophylactics because they're in basic training, they used nature's condom, of course. And it was, and all of a sudden, one of the drill sergeants caught them. He was like, "I hope to fucking God you're using protection," and started screaming and yelling at him. It was great. Yeah, they got kicked out. There was another one where we were having a health and welfare check. That's where they toss all the lockers and stuff. And
Health and welfare, I like that.
yeah, and so the drill sergeant's like, "All right, if you have anything that you shouldn't have, throw it inside the kill zone," which is like the center of the Bay Area. And they're like, "Throw it in the kill zone, you get your alibi," right? And so people are throwing, the extra cough drops that we're not supposed to have. Other granola bars and other bullshit they're not supposed to have. This one cat throws in,
The peanut butter
packets. Yeah, totes. And this one cat throws out some letters, correspondence, right? And drill sergeant looks at it. He's like, "What the fuck are you throwing letters? You can have letters." And then he looks at him, looks at the letters. He's like, "Sir, oh my God, sir!" And he runs and grabs the commander. Commander comes to our bay and he's like, "Everybody toe the line, right?" And toe the line. Private so-and-so, come up here. Go get Private so-and-so from the female barracks. And they have this one guy and this female soldier standing in front of him. And the commander's like, "You told me you were not having a relationship with this female." And he was like, "Well, I'm not." He was like, "Oh, really?" And he started reading the letter, and the letter had some lascivious stuff inside. They're like, "Oh my God, I think I'm really in love with you because you were the first guy I ever swallowed for." And it was like, he was like, "Hey, is that not a relationship?" And then he was like, and basically they got stuck on extra duty for lying to the commander. But it was funny because everybody was dead fucking silent as this guy was getting his ass chewed out, and then the drill sergeant who found the letters, he was like, "Hey man, it's okay to laugh. It's fucking funny." And to which we all just died right there. It was so funny. I've never laughed any harder, man. It was just so bad. Yeah, there you go. There's the army. Woo! Sorry.
A lot of thrills, chills, and spills in this episode.
This
And
episode is
I love
rated
Hunter.
PG-13.
Hunter's like, thank God I had my priorities straight and did not join the army.
Facts.
No, he does
They would've
jujitsu
eaten your
instead.
cute
He goes
ass
for a
up.
different type of oily, sweaty man.
Yep.
With
I like
a little
them
bit
close.
of lemon zest.
A little bit of lemon zest.
A little bit of lemon zest. Oh, man.
Some people like peanut butter. Others prefer jelly. I prefer jelly. Or is it syrup? Right, that's what it was.
Oh yeah,
Never
with
mind.
Chris Rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-uh. And on that note,
On that note, yes.
Is that a podcast?
I think that's the podcast.
All right, podcast out. See
All
y'all
right.
later.
I'm sorry, Mom, if you hear this.
He's not.
All right.
Oh,
water.
shit. I hit a wrong button. Hold on. Failing live.